Hi everybody, welcome to week 2 of the Diamond Mastery Training. Hope last week was amazing for you and that you learned lots and that you're making progress and taking steps forward towards your goals. For anybody who doesn't know me, my name is Chamberlain-Hance. I'm a one-star diamond coach and founder of Team Heart and Hustle. What I'm going to talk to you today about is how important your story is. And how to use your story on social media to attract other people to your business. So to share a little bit about myself, I'm a single mom. I have a daughter who is turned 3 in March. She's super busy and amazing. Most of you probably know her because I share a lot about her in my life. I went to massage therapy school, tried to do that for a little while as far as starting up my own business, realized it took way too much time and energy for someone who had recently found out they were pregnant, and I knew that I couldn't build a business and raise a baby on my own. So I dove more into yoga and yoga teaching and did that for a while as well. So I have bounced around a lot in my life as far as jobs go. I came from a place of, I've kind of always struggled with money, with finances. I kind of, I took a big trip in my late 20s and figured out a lot about myself. And it was amazing. And I struggled a lot with financial stuff when I first got there. And then as I started to get my feet underneath me, for the first time in my life, money wasn't an issue. I also had 0 responsibilities at that time. I was single. I did not have any kids. I didn't own a car. All of my expenses were to pay rent, and I was at a job where I made really good money, so it was easy, and I felt like I was in a really good place in my life. And then something happened at home, and I needed to not be there anymore. And it happened pretty suddenly, and I wasn't prepared for it at all. So I came home and brought nothing with me, with the expectation I would be going back, and I never did. So I really landed back in Michigan and had to start over. And I had no money saved up because I spent freely. So when I say starting over, like I was starting from 0. So I moved in with my baby brother and his family, and stayed there for a little while I found a job, again, waitressing because it was my easy go-to. And that was all right, but I was finding that I was more and more and more unhappy and feeling more and more unsettled in my life. And I knew that there just had to be something more. I was living quite literally off of credit cards, and I had maxed out a number of them. As I tried to get myself back around, I had to get a vehicle. I had to find some place to live. So I had to come up with security deposits and down payments and all of that stuff. And the money wasn't rolling in by any stretch. So I was back to a life of struggling and barely scraping by. And that has kind of been my story for a really long time. Until now, which is awesome. So that's one part of my story. Another part of my story is I have Crohn's disease. You'll see my name get tagged on lots of posts in our group anytime anybody asks about GI issues or IBS or Crohn's or colitis or anything like that. Was diagnosed just over 20 years ago, so I've been living with it for a really long time. And it's created struggles in my life for sure, absolutely. It makes working out sometimes difficult. It makes my diet a huge part of my life. And I've been mostly healthy, but I've had long periods of being unhealthy as well. So that's part of my story. my daughter is a huge part of my story. Another struggle that I have dealt with in my life. Her dad and I dated for a long time, and when he found out I was pregnant, things kind of fell apart, and he's no longer really involved in her life, and that's something that I've become as okay with as I can. But single parenting is part of my story, and it's part of what I share on social media. When I had my daughter, I've kind of felt like I was at the bottom, right? Like at the very lowest point in my life. I was barely scraping by financially. I was living in a house that I was terrified I wouldn't be able to afford. My parents were helping me out a ton. I wasn't getting child support. I was on Medicaid to pay for my pregnancy and delivery. I was not yet on food assistance, but I was receiving benefits through WIC. It was scary. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how I was going to manage childcare. It was awful. It was horrible. And I spent almost a year there. And in that year, I came to know Anita. Some of you might know that our daughters are just a few days apart. So we definitely bonded through that experience. And I watched her, and I watched her, and I watched her, and I watched her. And one day I got really bad news at my yoga studio that I was no longer a part of their team and no longer on their schedule. And I thought I was at the bottom, and then I sunk lower. And I had no idea what to do. I didn't know what my options were. I didn't think I had any options. Again, at that point, I was on food assistance. So I was not supporting myself financially. I was getting a ton of state aid. My parents were helping me out a ton. But I knew it was enough. Like that was the bottom, and I knew lower meant bad things for me, and I needed to find a way to dig myself out. So I called Anita, and I said, okay, this is my option. This is what I need to do. And I had to do a lot of things to make that happen. I refinanced my car. I sold diapers. I ate only what was provided from the state for a little while, which is not great food, by the way. I scrimped and scraped and made it happen because I knew that there had to be another way. And I knew that this was an option that afforded that possibility. So it wasn't easy. It wasn't like an overnight success for me at all. If you have followed me at all and seen some of my more recent posts, I'm at a point now where I don't have an outside job. I have sorry, it's super windy here. I'm at my parents' house. I have Ainsley enrolled in private school come fall, which is $600 a month. We no longer qualify for assistance because I make too much money. I'm looking at buying the house that I have been renting, and it all blows my mind. I'm not scared anymore. I'm confident in my ability to be a mom. I'm confident in my ability to be a role model for my daughter and for others. And I'm confident in sharing my story. So that was a lot, I know, right? So much. Like, we all have these big stories, and we think that they maybe don't matter, but the truth of the matter is that they do. They do matter because some part of my very complex story resonated with somebody, right? Something in there, some part of my struggle, as I share bits and pieces of that through social media, somebody says, that looks like my life, right? I've been there. I've had that struggle. So when you're sharing your story, right, I think the fear comes in that we're ashamed, right? We're ashamed that we struggle. We have this notion that we're supposed to be perfect and have excuse my language, but have our shit together, and we don't always have our shit together. So it's scary to put that out there and to let other people see it, and we're afraid that they're going to judge us, right? But here's the thing, guys. Everybody has something, right? Everybody has something that they could feel ashamed about. Everyone has something that they're embarrassed and that like it terrifies them that somebody might find out. But that's living a really small life, and it's living kind of a shallow one as well. So when you start to open up, you start to actually really like at a deeper level connect with people, because they can relate to you. They see that you're a real person. They see that you've not only struggled but overcome, or maybe you haven't overcome yet but you're well on your way, or you've made a decision to make changes that will get you there. Right? So they see themselves in you. When they see your story, when you share it, they don't see you. It's not about you when you share your story, it's about them. It's about them finding a way to relate to you. It's about them seeing a way to overcome their own circumstances. It's a way for them to see that something more is possible. Now, should you make a gigantic post that, I don't know, takes 9 minutes worth of video to share about your life? No, it's overwhelming for people, right? And you're going to turn people off. They're not going to read that much anyways, because, sorry, I don't want to be the one to tell you, but I will be. People don't care. They just don't care, and that's fine. Everybody's wrapped up in themselves. They're the most important person in their life. And if we're really honest, that's true, and it should be. You should be the most important person in your life. But the fact is that they don't care about you so much as they care about how they can see themselves in you. So, no, don't share all of your story at once, right? But when you start sprinkling your story and your real life into what you're posting on social media, when you start to share little bits about how Beachbody has helped you to better your life, how it's helped you to overcome struggle, that's huge. And when they see that you can do it, they see that they can do it. So I hope that all made sense. Your assignment is, when we post to social media, there's kind of a 3-part deal to it. So what you want to do is share about when your struggle was, share about what your struggle was, and then share how Beachbody helped you improve that in your life, how that had an impact for you. So your assignment is, I want you to write down 5 ways that Beachbody has improved your life. So whether that's a financial impact or health benefit impact, or maybe you get to not work at your job so much, so you get to spend more time with your family. Maybe it's that you now are confident enough that you're not hiding in your own life. Maybe it's a million things, right? But it's unique to you. It's your story, and that's how you're going to attract people to your business. Yes, there's 300,000 Beachbody coaches, but there's only one you. There's only one person out there that has your exact story that's going to relate to those specific people. So it's your job, right? Not like a job job, but like it's your responsibility to put yourself out there to find those people that are going to relate to you, that you're going to show through your own life what's possible for them. So come up with 5 things, like answer those questions. The when, right? The what you overcame, and the how Beachbody helped you to do it. So come up with 5 of those, because those are going to become posts for you. They're going to become snippets for you to start sharing your story, and then share them in the comments below. Hope you guys have an awesome week. I hope this training is blowing your mind with how amazing it is, and I can't wait to watch you guys all rank advanced to diamond. And the struggle, right?